Today, we're diving deep into a really high-stakes match, the recent CONCACAF Gold Cup final, USMNT versus Mexico.
Yeah, a huge one. And this wasn't just about the trophy, was it? It's happening just months before the 2026 World Cup kicks off right here in North America.
Exactly, big implications. And the result, well, is a tough one for the U.S. A 2-1 loss down in Houston at NRG Stadium. Mexico took home back-to-back titles.
Right. So our mission for you listening in is to go, beyond just that final score. We're going to break down the key moments from that really intense final.
And try to figure out what this result actually means for the USMNT, especially with that 2026 World Cup clock ticking louder and louder.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's set the scene. The U.S. actually came out flying. Really strong start.
They did. Chris Richards' bang, header in the 4th minute.
Textbook set piece, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The American fans there, absolutely electric. You thought, okay, maybe this is their night.
It looked like a statement, for sure. But what's really interesting is how Mexico handled that early pressure. They didn't fold.
No, they didn't.
Instead, they responded pretty quickly, showed that veteran experience. Raúl Jiménez, 27th minute, gets the equalizer.
Nice finish, too. Left foot.
Yeah, really composed strike. And, he even gave a little nod to his old Wolves teammate Diogo Jota with his celebration. It showed they weren't rattled. They absorbed it and hit back.
So after that equalizer, it feels like the whole momentum shifted, right? Mexico started taking over.
Absolutely. From that point on, you saw Mexico really start to dominate possession. They controlled that midfield battle.
How exactly did they do that? Was it just keeping the ball?
Well, it was more than just possession stats. It felt tactical. They were precise, patient. They basically starved the U.S. attack, forcing them into hopeful long balls instead of building anything intricate.
Exposed maybe a bit of tactical inflexibility from the U.S. side.
Could be. And the U.S. did have chances, missed opportunities. Max Arston had a near goal, I remember. But they just couldn't seem to recapture that early rhythm,
Right, and then things got, controversial. There was that moment everyone was talking about.
Oh, yeah. The potential handball. That raises the stakes, doesn't it? Fine margins in these big games.
So 67th minute, Mexico's Jorge Sánchez. Ball hits his arm, maybe, in the U.S. penalty area.
Looked like it to many, but the referee waved play on immediately. No penalty given.
And that decision, wow. It sparked a lot of debate, a lot of frustration from the U.S. fans and analysts.
Totally. A really pivotal moment. Contentious. And it definitely shaped the feeling of the rest of the game.
And almost like clockwork. Just as the U.S. might have been trying to regroup from that, Mexico landed the killer blow.
Yeah, the decisive goal. 77th minute. Mexican captain Edson Álvarez with a header.
But wasn't that initially flagged offside?
It was initially ruled out. But then came the VAR review. The video assistant referee.
Which we see more and more changing big calls.
Exactly. After the review, they looked at it, checked the lines, goal confirmed. That made it 2-1, and that's how it ended. Mexico seals the win.
Okay, so let's zoom out. Connect this to the bigger picture for the USMNT. What does this loss really mean?
Well, it certainly raises some significant questions. You have to remember, the U.S. fielded a younger squad here. Less experience.
Right, missing big names like Christian Pulisic wasn't there.
Exactly. And it's not just about missing the star power, is it? It's about that lack of maybe on-field leadership in those really high-pressure moments. That's something crucial for a World Cup run.
Something this developing squad might still be trying to find.
Potentially, yeah. It's a critical ingredient.
And the coach, Mauricio Pochettino, he comes in with this big European reputation, managing top clubs. The expectation is high.
It is. And now the pressure is definitely growing. His record since taking over in 2024. What is it? 9 wins, 6 losses?
Yeah, something like that. It's not just numbers on a page, though, is it? It suggests maybe a struggle to really lock down a consistent playing style, a clear team identity.
Right, and you hear analysts like Alexi Lalas, for instance, saying, okay, maybe this tournament was about building that identity, finding themselves.
But is that enough?
Well, that's the worry, isn't it? Is this squad actually on track for the World Cup? Especially now you've got Mexico looking confident again. They've regained momentum.
And they extended their lead in the head-to-head rivalry, too. What is it now?
Yeah.
38 wins for Mexico to 24 for the U.S.?
Something like that, yeah. It reinforces that historical dynamic. So this loss, it isn't just one game, it's a setback. And it really tests the USMNT's readiness for that global stage.
So for you listening, what's the takeaway? With 2026 happening right here on home soil, the urgency is real. You can feel it.
The clock is absolutely ticking for the U.S. They need to show they're genuine contenders, not just, happy hosts.
Which leads to the big question, I suppose.
Yeah, the question to leave you with is this. Was this Gold Cup loss just sort of necessary growing pains? A tough lesson for a team still developing? That trial by fire that ultimately makes them stronger?
Or does it hint at something deeper? A more fundamental lack of preparation for soccer's biggest tournament?
Are they really ready?
Keep that question in mind. We'll definitely be tracking every step on this road to 2026.